The joys of being a medieval kid. People often think our lives were dull and gray, but oh no, we had our own brand of fun and adventure. Growing up in the Middle Ages was like living in a perpetual fantasy novel, minus the magic, of course, or so I thought. As a young apprentice to my father's blacksmith shop, I'd spend most mornings helping him hammer out horseshoes or fixing broken tools for the local lord. After a hard morning's work, I'd take a break and join my friends in the nearby woods for some wild times. We'd play games like Hawk, where one person would hide while the others shouted out clues until they found them. It was like medieval treasure hunting. Or we'd have massive battles with sticks and leaves as our trusty swords, yelling out battle cries like, "For King Arthur," even though I had no idea who that guy was. Summer afternoons were spent in the nearby stream, trying to catch fish with makeshift hooks made from thorns and twine. Sometimes we'd accidentally hook ourselves instead, ouch, but it didn't stop us. We'd just laugh it off and start again. One of our favorite pastimes was attending the traveling minstrels' performances. They'd play lutes, sing songs about knights and dragons, and even do acrobatic feats, which usually ended with them falling over and everyone laughing. We kids would try to imitate their tricks, much to the dismay of the village elder who kept shouting, "Mind your manners. Watch out for that tree." As the sun began to set, we'd gather round the fire pit in our courtyard, where my mother would tell us stories about our ancestors and the ancient magic they possessed. We'd listen with wide eyes as she spoke of brave warriors, wicked witches, and mythical creatures like dragons and griffins. Of course, there were also the inevitable pranks we'd play on each other, like replacing the village baker's yeast with a bag of dried peas or filling our friend's helmet with feathers. Oh, the laughter! But sometimes our mischief would get us into trouble, and we'd have to do penance by helping out at the local tavern or doing extra chores for our parents. As I grew older, my interest shifted towards learning the art of sword fighting from the village's resident master swordsman. He taught me how to wield a sword properly, how to parry and riposte, and even some basic acrobatics, which always ended with me face-planting into the dirt. My friends and I would spend hours practicing our moves in the town square, much to the chagrin of the local constable. One fateful day, while practicing my swordplay, I accidentally knocked over a nearby market stall. The vendor, a grumpy old man named Grimbold, chased me down the street, shouting curses and waving his cane. I had to think fast, so I grabbed a nearby basket of fresh bread and used it as a makeshift shield to deflect his attacks. Grimbold, impressed by my quick thinking, finally stopped chasing me and instead offered me a deal. If I agreed to help him deliver his baked goods around the village, he'd give me a free loaf every week. Deal done. From then on, I became Grimbold's apprentice, learning the art of bread making and earning myself a nice reputation as a trustworthy delivery boy. As I entered my teenage years, my friends and I started exploring the world beyond our village. We'd sneak into the nearby castle to explore its ancient halls and hidden passageways, always on the lookout for hidden treasures or mysterious artifacts. One time we even stumbled upon an old, dusty scroll with a cryptic message that sent us on a wild goose chase across the countryside, which ended with us getting lost in the woods and having to spend the night under the stars. Looking back, it's amazing how much fun we had as medieval kids. Sure, life wasn't always easy. Famine, disease, and war were ever-present threats, but despite those challenges, we found ways to make our own entertainment and create our own adventures. As I grew older and took on more responsibilities, I realized that my childhood experiences had prepared me well for the world ahead. My parents' blacksmith shop became a successful business, and I even started my own family one day, passing down my love of storytelling and adventure to my own children. In retrospect, being a medieval kid wasn't all about hard work and chores, although those were important too. It was about learning to adapt, be resourceful, and find joy in the simplest things. And if you ask me, that's a lesson worth passing down through the ages.